There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Guys, my name is Will and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing Scream 6 from 2023. So Scream 6 is directed by Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. It stars Courteney Cox, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. So Scream 6 takes place 1 year after the events of Scream 5, and the new cast, or the old cast, the survivors of the Woodsboro killings, they're starting a new chapter in New York City. So this is going to be, since the movie's been out since 2023, over a year ago, this is going to be a spoiler review. And so if you've not seen the movie, I suggest you click away. But if you have seen the movie or you don't mind spoilers, then stick around. The way I work these reviews is I go over the positives of the movie and then I go over the negatives of the movie. So starting off with the first positive of the movie is the opening scene in this movie does something different than any other Scream movie. So basically, at the start, Samara Weaving in this start bit, she's this generation's Drew Barrymore. Obviously, back then, you didn't know Drew Barrymore was going to be the first killing. But nowadays, with the Scream franchise, you kind of expect the first person to be on the screen as the first person to die. So, yeah, we get Samara Weaving. She's great in this, in the start of the movie. But at the start of the movie, when she goes into the alleyway and she gets killed, Ghostface takes off. So instead of it comes up, the character, the character dies and then the title card comes up. He didn't. It just left on Ghostface with breathing. I'm like, what's going on here? In the cinema, and then he takes his mask off, and you're like, are the theories going to be true? Are we going to follow Ghostface throughout this movie? We know who Ghostface is at the very start of the movie, but the actual characters in the movie don't. I'm like, this is totally mind blowing. But it's a false opening. So when the Ghostface killer reveals himself, it leads to a false opening, and then you're like, it's just, this movie just throws you in 12 different directions at the start, and then you finally get the actual opening when he goes home, and then you get one of the best lines in the movie. Who gives a fuck about the movies? Title card, and that's when the movie officially begins.
What's a fuck about movies?
So my second positive is the characters in this movie are great. From the returning cast to the new cast especially. So you've obviously got your returning cast, you've got Tara, you've got Sam, you've got Chad, you've got Mindy. You've got the core four, you've got them back in. Tara and Sam, their relationship in this movie is just, it amps up. It's so great. You get that sort of Sam trying to protect Tara, but Tara was like, just kind of, Sam, let me go. It was over a year ago. I don't want this small part, like 3 days, to define my whole life. Obviously, Sam doesn't see it that way. Sam wants to protect her sister. So their dynamic in this movie is great. Then you've got one of the new cast members, Quinn. I found Quinn to be one of my favourites of the new cast. She was so witty, and her quips were so. She was just so funny, and her remarks and her quips just felt good and natural. So she is, out of the returning cast and the new cast members, Quinn has to be my favourite of the new cast members. And we can't talk about new cast members without talking about one of my favourite legacy characters returning in Kirby Reed. When I saw this in the pictures last year, I could not believe my eyes. I knew that there was rumours and stuff like that, but you didn't really read into the rumours too much. And when I saw her come on screen, I was like so happy and excited to see what her new. Because when we knew her back in Scream 4, she was just a teenager in high school, and then in this movie, she's 30 years old, fully grown adult, and turns out she's in the FBI. I loved her character in this as well. It was a good progression from Scream 4. And also she's been fascinated with Ghostface ever since. So her progression from Scream 4 to Scream 6 is just, it's fantastic, and that just rounds off my second positive, I think it was, of the returning characters, the new characters. They were all fantastic. There's a couple of characters in there I'm just not too sure about, but yeah, overall it was a great casting. I've got a few other positives down here in my notes, but I'm just going to kind of clump them together because it's all about some set pieces in this movie, or maybe some of the best set pieces in the whole entire franchise. So one of the main set pieces is the train set piece. I think that was in the trailers. That was shot incredible. Like, round of applause for the directors. That scene in the train was so scary, so brilliant, so full of Easter eggs. It was just fantastic. Especially when you've got Mindy, who is on a different train from the other cast members. We've got Mindy, she's standing up against the window, and we see Ghostface just kind of sitting and looking at her. And Ghostface stands up and she's starting to panic, and the way the lights flicker on and off, so Ghostface is, every time the lights come on, Ghostface is one step closer to her, and then next minute he's gone, and then next minute he's right at her face. It was just, that scene may be the best scene in the entire franchise. I would have to go back over my reviews and see what I think, but I think that may be my favourite. And then obviously the other set piece is the shrine, the Ghostface shrine. That was awesome. Seeing all the police evidence and memorabilia, the weapons, Billy Loomis's t-shirt, Stu Macher's robe, all the Ghostface, I got chills in the cinema when I seen this. All the Ghostface robes just in there in their cases. I'm just like, this was so fan servicey. This movie was so fan servicey. It was fantastic. I'm sorry, by the way, I keep looking at myself on the screen instead of looking at the camera. I should be addressing yous. So yeah, it was just, that scene there was so much of fan service. And then I think, the house scene, when, obviously it's a spoiler, when Quinn dies, that whole scene when they're getting chased by Ghostface and they're on the ladder and they have to crawl along the ladder, that I was like, when I first seen it, I'm just like, this is so intense, and it's just, this movie is, I'll give my overall review, but while I'm going just now, that the positives outweigh the negatives so much in this movie. That scene in the house was fantastically shot. The tension was ramped up to 11. You're like, who's going to survive? Who's going to die in this scene? And it was just so perfect. And yes, this takes me on to my last positive. This may be the best Ghostface in the entire franchise. As in, not the people behind the mask, the actual Ghostface persona, the Ghostface entity. They were so brutal, they were so menacing, they were just so larger than life, huge, jacked by the looks of the costume, so brutal, using shotguns, and it was just brutal. And some of the deaths, and just like the way in the Sam's like therapist person, the way he just stabs him through like the eye, it's just it's Ghostface is epic in this movie. And unfortunately, this takes me to the negatives. This movie didn't take risks with the returning cast members. It just didn't take any risks at all. Scream 5 killed Dewey. Right? Big legacy character. Everybody loves Dewey. They killed him. Took a risk. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I personally didn't like it, but I get what it was going for, and it took a risk, and I like it for taking a risk. This movie does not take any risks whatsoever with the returning cast, and it pees me off so freaking much. For instance, Gail, I think, should have died. Her wounds, she should have died. End of. I know you killed Dewey. You can't really kill Gail in the next movie, but if they did that, props to you. Grow a set. Amazing. That would be like, you took a risk, it paid off. Her wounds should have killed her. And then you get to Mindy. Mindy is the worst character. Not the actress, the character. They try to make her so much like Randy, and it doesn't work. It feels forced. It doesn't feel natural. With Randy, it felt right. It worked. It didn't feel forced, but they just ramp her up to like 11, and it just doesn't work. And when she gets stabbed in the train, on the train, maybe she could have survived, right? But I think her wounds were so severe that she should have died. The way you see it, it doesn't show you directly, but you see the knife going in, she's bleeding, and then you hear it a thud again. So I don't know if he's maybe ripped up. You hear it and then you hear it rip up. I'm like, she should have been out the game. And then within the next scene, she's jumping about. Even after she gets out the train station and she's bleeding, she's making jokes. You've just been stabbed off Ghostface. Like, act like you've been stabbed. Like, you're like, I hate this franchise. Act like you've been stabbed. Don't joke about it. And then next scene, she's jumping about telling jokes again. And like, your friends are just being targeted by Ghostface. Like, your character shouldn't be acting the way she did. And I get that the line, oh, they've given me so much painkillers. You have just been stabbed and then ripped up. You should be in so much pain in the hospital, nearly dying, not. And if you don't die, you should be dead. Like, if you don't die, you should be dead. You should be in the hospital in pain. You shouldn't be jumping about telling jokes literally in movie time, like 10 minutes later. Like, it just doesn't happen. That for me annoyed me so much. And then we've got one of my favourite characters, returning characters, Chad. Chad is great, right? And I'm so glad he didn't die. But if he died, I would understand why he died. The way the two ghost faces like stab him multiple times, like along the sides and stuff, like, you're bleeding out, you're dying. It's just, this movie does not take risks with the returning cast members, the core four. I think they want to keep the core four alive and well because they didn't know what was going to happen for Scream 7. So they maybe think we'll have the core four and then kill a couple of them off then. But the core four doesn't look like to be returning in Scream 7. It's going a different route. So see if you kill, maybe, we'll keep Courteney Cox alive. See if you took a chance and killed Mindy. And then you kill Chad. Hats off to you. You took a big risk. Some people might not have liked it, but they would have appreciated that you took the risk. And that's it. What's the point in a slasher movie when there's no stakes involved with the main cast? It's just, I don't get it. And my last negative is the review of this movie. It just doesn't work at all. I had the same gripe in Scream 2 with Billy's mum, and I have the same gripe, even worse gripe, with Richie's dad, Bailey. Just, it doesn't make sense for him to be a cop and like, oh, my son's a killer, so I'm going to avenge him. I'm like, no, you're a cop. You should understand that these like Samantha, Sam and Tara killed mostly Sam, killed your son because he was killing other people. He was a serial killer. He was Ghostface. But no, you want to avenge your son. I'm like, your son was a killer. You're a cop. You should understand that. You shouldn't go on a killing spree yourself just to get back at Sam and Tara. I get, and then he switch up. Bailey switch up. It's just so weird. He goes from this serious cop to like almost comical, and he's laughing and he's giggling. I'm just like, you're just so over the top. No need. Like, you're.
Wait for it. My name's not Ethan Landry. Is it, Dad? Dad?
Switches just wasn't gradual. It was just like switched on, and it just annoyed me. And that's one of the, like, I get, see, like when there's a character in this, one of the new characters, it turns out he played another character, and turns out he was actually Bailey's son. Forgot his name. And then you've got Quinn. See if it's just Quinn and the other boy and this brother and sister, or Richie, I could have get it. I could get it. Their motive for wanting to get revenge for their brother. But in a sense, I'm like, your brother was Ghostface. Like, he was killing people. Obviously, these people, this whole family's just psychotic in general then. But forget the reasons why they done it, right? Bailey, the guy who played Bailey is a great actor. He was terrible at the end of this. His flip was so too sudden, too comical. He was too out there. Quinn, and I really can't remember the other guy's name, sorry. But I really like quit. See if you just had day two, perfect. Quinn was so believable. Her turn was so believable when it happened, and I didn't see it coming. I was like, holy shit. But her turn is so believable. She's great when she's chasing them about and being all psychotic and stuff like that. She's fantastic. And same with the boy. He's fantastic as well. Sorry I forgot his name, but he was good as well. You believed him. It wasn't too over the top and over dramatic. It was just perfect. And then I generally think my favourite Ghostface in this is Quinn. Her character before the reveal was funny, witty, great actress. And then after, when she's been revealed to be Ghostface, you believe it. She was the saving grace of the end of this movie, because Bailey ruined it for me. And yeah, that's my positives and my negatives. So with my big rant at the end, my personal verdict is I still really love this movie. This movie, I'm going to do a ranking of these movies, and then I'll give you my rank. But this movie, for me, is great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. With the negatives don't outweigh the positives for me. The positives are better than the negatives, so I really did enjoy this movie. And that is all. That is my short review. Tell me what you think down in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?